Thank you for stopping in for another Binge Watch Brigade episode. Thank you guys so much for stopping out to check out these two idiots of me, Jim Bob Joe III, and Jay-Z. How you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Heck yeah, man. We get to talk about a fighter this time. The little rope-a-dopes and put up your dukes.
Your obsession.
It's not an obsession. I would say I just enjoy it to the point where, like, I can put it on in the background and I really don't have any issue with it just, like, playing 20 times.
Right.
I'm talking about Kengan Ashura. Kengan Ashura is it's a battle-style anime, tournament-y, kind of similar to, like, Baki, a little bit to Yu Yu Hakusho whenever we get into, like, the tournament stuff. But this one, I'm curious to see how you felt about it, because I kind of got you to start watching it by just, like, turning it on when we were hanging out, and you just like would steadily get like locked in. And I was like, all right, I think I sold him on this one.
I do like it. I will say that there's moments that really draw me in. It's pretty much just the fights, honestly. There's a lot of stuff going on outside of it that is very important, but it just does not hold my attention. Like, it's like in between the fights, I take a break too, apparently.
You took that as intermission to go get popcorn and soda?
Well, I didn't go anywhere, but I think my brain did.
I do like a lot of the voice actors in this show, like the main character. The main character, Oma Tokita, I mean, I would basically say we had this discussion earlier.
There's co-main characters. There's two.
Yeah. It's much more, I would say, about Kazuo Yamashita more than Oma. But basically what this show is it's corporations in Japan since the samurai days have basically realized that what they did was they just had bloodthirsty wars over stuff, and they realized that wasn't the way to do about business. So now what they've done is that they have what they call the Kengan Association, which basically is a bunch of these super high-ranking companies. They, instead of having bidding wars or actual killing wars over building territory and ownership of businesses and things like that and expansion, they would nominate a champion to fight for them. And now in modern-day Japan, they're still doing that. So in one of the fights, you see one of our co-main characters, Oma, has to fight another guy for building rights of a building, which is basically worth, they said, like $6 billion or 6 billion yen. Mm-hmm. That's what they said. And it's underlying of that is one of your co-main characters trying to get closure, I would say, for his teacher's death. Would you agree with that?
That's basically his whole driving force.
Yeah. So, but there's a lot of really cool characters in this show. You and I agree that one of the characters, Seki Bayashi, is wonderful.
Seki Bayashi is the goat.
June, the Hell's Angel, Seki Bayashi. So I almost feel like this show does very similar things to what Baki does, which is why I can definitely understand why they would do. I can understand why they would do like a collab movie or TV show or whatever they did for that season or whatever they did. Because I still haven't watched that yet.
Right.
But they're normal human beings. They've found a way to justify their like abilities by, instead of it being like chakra or spirit energy or some kind of like kai, it's just they've put it to genetics, or they've put a scientific reason behind everything. Like,
which is really interesting once they start describing stuff.
Right. Like one of the combatants, Leihito, he has his special move that he calls the Razor's Edge, which he'll like take his fingertips, and since he has that high pinch strength, mm-hmm. and he can rip the skin basically off of your body with just his fingertips.
Which that guy reminded me a lot of one of the guys from Baki.
Oh yeah, kind of.
Because he had that same thing, the intense forearm strength where he could grip onto something.
Yeah, Oh, hell, I don't know why I can't think of what his name is. Sikorsky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he hangs upside down in that bathroom by holding on to that sprinkler head.
Yep.
With just his freaking index finger and his thumb.
Yep.
Because they show a different show, but basically this guy, they say what with a feat of strength that he completed would be like holding yourself with a dime upside down with just your fingertips while reading a book and never breaking concentration.
Mm.
So that's kind of crazy in and of itself. But like even like the Kure family, like they're insane how far their thing is from like a natural, you can explain it scientifically or biologically. Like there's no way of doing that. But they do, I think, a pretty decent job where basically their whole family has had selective breeding, basically, where they've only selected people of very specific traits to marry into or breed into their family. And they get a crazy ability to basically unlock their brain power and their body power to where they're not limited by any degree. They can unlock a percentage, depending on the person, of their mental strength and their like physical strength.
Yeah.
But how did you feel fights wise? Did you feel like the fights in the show were good?
There were some that were kind of boring, but for the most part, they're really cool. I mean, every single one of Oma's fights are dope because Oma himself is like, he seems for the most part the most normal for the most part. But then
I could see that, but I mean, there's other people like Cosmo Imai, like
he is by far the most normal.
Yeah.
But he's just so skilled. His fight was crazy too, though, with the American Adam Dudley, yeah. Because he cut off the oxygen to his brain, so Adam Dudley basically imagined things happening.
Yeah. Because he's the grappler. He's like a genius when it comes to like fighting in ground game.
Mm-hmm. He's also the smallest. Well,
by far.
That's not true. He's probably the shortest. There's two other fighters that are definitely smaller than him, though.
Inaba.
I think that's one of them.
That's the assassin guy who's got the crazy like hair that he uses to fight Oma with.
Oh, okay. There's three guys that are smaller than him. Because yeah, he's definitely smaller. Was he a chess player? He was playing some sort of board game that took over for the one fighter.
The shogi guy?
Yeah, shogi. The guy that basically gets his ass kicked till he figures out your fighting style.
Kazuo of the Twisting Rook.
Which I gotta say, I'm so happy he lost because, like, I would have been so pissed if the guy that he fought lost to him.
Yes, I agree.
Because that dude, they basically call him a fighting god.
Yeah, I know. There's no way that he's gonna lose.
Like, yeah. Well, like, eventually he'll lose, but not to that guy.
No, not at all. So, like, to break this down a little bit. So, in the very beginning, there's a competitor who is a fighter for a company called the Nogi Group. And he gets called out by Oma to fight. Oma beats the shit out of him and then, like, breaks his arm and stuff. And basically ends up taking over as the head competitor for the Nogi Group, which is, like, a company that the other co-main character, Kazuo Yamashita, who's this older dude who is very, I mean, let's be honest, he's very frail, he's very timid.
He's the relatable main character.
He is, for sure. And I mean, I could not help but laugh my ass off in the very beginning whenever he bears witness to Oma beating the hell out of that dude in the very first episode, first 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then he goes and gets a prostitute.
Yeah, because he said he's never felt so alive.
Mm-hmm.
And he felt like he had to complete the reproductive acts to feel more like a man or something like that.
Right.
I can't remember.
Right.
But yeah, that was crazy. So he's like treated like shit at work, and then the president of the company calls him up for a meeting and tells him that he's basically going to be like a subsidiary of the main company, and Oma is going to be his competitor for him.
Well,
which
first
all the
he
beginning
becomes his
fights,
handler.
yeah, he's basically just his, like, you know, hey, go get me this, go get me that, make sure I'm fed. But it kind of like his manager deal. But in the first fight that he has with Lehito, which he calls himself the what's he call himself, the superhuman?
Yeah. Yep.
Because of his godly ability to, like, you know, have the strength that he does and his grip.
Mm-hmm.
Or the pinching strength. So, you know, that fight's, I think it's pretty good. I think it goes to like really break down the beginning of the show as the, you know, one, this is a fighter show. This is kind of how the rounds are going to go. And secondly, like, this is where you start to kind of see the mindset that the Nogi group is in, where they're pushing their, like, you know, their side story arc that they're building up.
Right.
You can see the way Nogi is thinking, which I have to admit, I do like the actual main competitor for the big tournament.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about it too. He's like so chill, but he's so skilled.
Total surfer dude. Mm-hmm. Total surfer dude.
Yep.
Like, whoa, you probably shouldn't be fighting your what is it? Your manager, man.
Yeah.
It's also in the tournament, whenever he uses the triple barrel punch where he like punches that dude 3 times in the face rapidly. Yep. That was so badass.
Yes, it was. His fight was good.
I like how he's lost 15 times, but all of his reasons are his own fault. He's never actually lost.
Like, he didn't show up.
Yeah, he overslept. He had slipped his mind. Like, he made an appointment he forgot about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he just doesn't give a shit. But I like Hatsumi. I like him a lot.
Mm-hmm. He's a good character.
So after he wins that fight against Lehito, then he fights Sekibayashi, who's fucking awesome.
Well, we're going from shit to awesome here. I gotta say, Lehito, this is a Bleach reference. He's basically Renji. He's that side character that you like. He's cool, but all he does is take L's.
You're not wrong. You're not.
All he does is take L's.
I like Renji more than I like Lehito, though.
Well, that's fair, because Renji's actually like cool. Lehito is more funny cool.
Yeah.
And then Sekibayashi. Sekibayashi's that dude.
Yeah, Sekibayashi is that dude. He's a pro wrestler, and he does not try to dodge any attack, which is insane. You have to figure what he would be like if he did.
He'd probably be actually unbeatable if he did.
Right. I mean, I think he would beat the Fang of Metsudo, honestly.
If he actually dodged attacks, probably.
I do like what happens later on, though, whenever it comes to Haruo.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess we'll get to that in a few. But the fight with Lehito, it's a good starter fight. It's really starting to build up, you know, Oma's abilities, starting to kind of break down the way that the structure of these fights go. Then he has the Sekibayashi fight, which is more intense, harder fight, starting to see more of Oma's abilities, because that's when he first takes a loan.
Yeah. Yep.
So, like, you'll see that Oma goes into this, like, big room where he has to, like, blow out all these candles, and then, like, he gets super, super powerful out of nowhere.
I think that's the only reason he wins this fight. Not because he does that, but because it throws Sekibayashi off guard.
That's also true, but just, like, the way he wins, where he, like, you know, stabs Sekibayashi in the throat with his fingertips and, like, breaks all of his fingers.
Right.
So he can cut off all the oxygen to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Sekibayashi gets up after the fight like nothing happened.
Right. He got knocked out, but he came back.
Yeah.
Which I believe part of his, like, wrist was all jacked up because he had to, like, set that when he woke up.
Yeah.
And then after that, you meet Hatsumi because you find out that there's the big tournament that's going to happen because at the Sekibayashi fight, the president of the entire Kengan Association shows up. Dude, Metsudo Katahara is, I think, one of the characters in this show that I want to see more of. He is such an intimidating old man that I just love.
Yeah, Uh, we'll talk about it in the next one, I guess. But he reminds me of the chairman from Hunter x Hunter.
Less intimidating.
Oh, well, at this point, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say way more later.
Yeah.
But yes, I would say like just the aura that Katahara puts off is insane. Like they show it's like just his presence is bigger than he appears. Just being, he looks like a feeble old man, but he's really not.
Right. Yeah, I think the main difference between the chairman and him is that the chairman is more easygoing and he likes to joke around. But if he didn't, he would be exactly like that guy. Just that
that's
feeble
fair.
old man look, but with the aura that he's dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Which I kind of wish that they would talk, which they haven't so far, about like the benefits of what you get for being the president of the Kengan Association.
I don't know. So,
because Nogi is really going for this position, but like he's putting his entire company at risk and Yamashita's life and Leihito's life. Because that was kind of like the biggest thing with this tournament is that everybody has to pay a 5 billion yen entry fee, which Nogi puts up all the money for all these people. And then it's kind of like a contract that says if their fighter wins, then they will name Nogi to be the new president of the association.
right.
So he's putting a lot of eggs into this basket, but he doesn't really explain why. And there hasn't really been any moment where they've talked about any bad blood between him and Metsudo.
I think he just wants to be in charge, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I could see it, especially the way Nogi is.
He's also not the only one in the tournament using that tactic.
Yeah, there's quite a few within the tournament, the big tournament, the Kengan Annihilation tournament. That's why Metsudo actually puts in the rules the way that he does, is so that it opens the door for backway deals and colluding and cheating and stuff like that, to where it's like, hey, if you get away with it, cool. If you don't, we'll catch you and then you'll be penalized for it, but there's so much gray area for people to move between.
Right.
And he did it for entertainment purposes. Like, he wants to see if people can beat him at his own game.
I actually don't think they'd even get in trouble if they got caught, because the one fight, there was people using communicators, and someone caught him, and it was like, oh, I'm going to tell everybody about this, and they're like, oh, we won't get in trouble, and he's like, yeah, but your business will tank.
Right.
So I don't think anybody would get in trouble for certain things.
No, but their company's reputation's at stake, though, which is bigger, I think.
Right.
So I do think that one of the other really cool fights in this is something you and I were just talking about as well, with once the Annihilation tournament is kicking off and everyone signed up, if you had a pass, you get straight on the ocean liner where all the fights are going to take place. Mm-hmm. Versus if you don't have a straight up invitation, then you had to go fight on this like big ass boat, and it's like 100+ competitors, and they're only going to take the 5 still standing, and they have up until they arrive at their location to do it, and they do it in like, I think they said like 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, because the 5 people that make it would have been invited if they were with legit companies.
Yeah. As a weird thing, Akiyama, like, dude, I don't know why. You know who I'm talking about, right? Miss Akiyama.
The assistant.
Yeah. I am not convinced why why she's there in like a couple different ways. And the fact that, like, don't get me wrong, she works for the Nogi Corporation, and she's like Nogi's basically main secretary and stuff. But like, at this point, it seems like she is somebody who, at first you would think that she was just a spy for Nogi, but now it seems like she's kind of like just in it. You know what I mean?
I don't think she ever needed to be a spy for Nogi. I think she's into Oma.
I mean, there are times where she kind of seems like that way, but then there's
Didn't
other
she-
times where she doesn't.
Was it her that dated the other fighter?
Are you talking about Hatsume?
Yeah, somebody dated him.
No, I think they went on one date and he was just an asshole. Like the president of one of the other companies.
Oh, that's right. It was one of the presidents.
Yeah, they dated.
Right.
She was still in high school, he said.
Yeah, which
And he was
is
like in his
weird.
early 20s.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I mean, it's interesting because I would like to get more of like her motivations because I do like her a lot as a character.
She seems like super worried about Oma. Not in the he's gonna fuck us, but like the I care about him type thing.
Right. I do like how Oma makes her blush whenever they're.
Right. She also gets along with Yamashita, I think.
Yeah, she does. I like how she is kind of like the ground for Yamashita in this world that he's not used to.
Right.
So that's really cool. But I also do think that whole fight scene is crazy too because of like the one, like we were talking about him, the guy who uses, instead of basing his fighting style on animals, he focuses it on humans and the fact of like military weaponry.
Yeah, like weapons, yeah.
That was like
crazy.
something I never would have thought of somebody doing that,
No.
but it is kind of nuts because he just like starts taking off from the ground, like he jumps like super fast, like over 100 and something miles an hour. It's just like Scud missile. This is kind of where though you get to see more of Oma's like actual techniques,
Right.
where he's able to use I can't remember what they call it, but like you tense all of your muscles at the moment of impact so that it like reflects all the power back. Like that's really nuts of an ability, and he knocks that guy flat on his ass, which he almost hit Akiyama.
Right.
So that's where you get to see a couple of the other competitors. That's late. You meet Leihito there. You meet Sawada, a couple other people.
And the like fisherman dude, wasn't he there?
Yeah, he was in there too.
I don't remember his name at all. He's crazy strong.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah, I do like what happens in his fight where, you know, he's been a fisherman, he's been on the sea for like ever, and he, you know, has kind of like sea legs, like permanent sea legs, but then the dude like hits him in the head so hard that it like corrects it.
Yeah, it gives him land legs again, and then his balance is insane.
Yeah, he's like doing like freaking like crazy twisty upside down like things while just balancing on his like big toe. Yeah, I do like how he fights in that battle too, where he like he's like, I use my harpoon, and he like punches him like right in the chest, and you see like that like animation of the harpoon in his hand. So that was I think a really cool like thing that they did. You know, that's straight out of Yu Yu Hakusho though.
Right.
Like basically.
Right.
So I do, just going into it once they get to the island though, like how freaking lucky that Kazuo keeps getting in random little things that he doesn't realize. Like, you know, in the very beginning, whenever they're choosing their placements in the tournament, and he just like doesn't know what to do, so he just keeps watching the like crazy little like elaborate lottery spinner thing that they were using.
That was, I don't know if he got lucky. I'm pretty sure that was like one of the few times he actually used his brain.
Not at first. It was after he noticed that it started slowing down that he started using his brain.
Right. True.
Because he was having a panic attack up until he noticed that.
And then Lahito fucking like rolled it too.
Yeah, I know. It was like 122 or something like
Yeah.
that. It was like really small.
Which I'm surprised he didn't have to fight the Fang.
Yeah, that's actually pretty funny that he didn't. But Okubo actually wanted to fight him.
True. Which, I mean, props to him. And he almost got it done too.
Right. Well, and I still think it's crazy how like Yamashita picks a location and everybody is like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, that's such a smart move. And he's just like, I just picked it because it looked good. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Because he doesn't. He's so out of his element. He's afraid of everything.
Right.
So I do like how he keeps getting lucky with all of that stuff, and he keeps getting like some kind of like rep with the rest of the association just on hunches and using his gut and just making panic decisions.
Right. Like
or even like later on, whenever he's fighting Inaba.
Yeah.
Whenever he makes the bet for all the Panasonic stock because he thinks he's...
Well, yeah, he thinks he's literally betting for 5 TVs.
Right.
Like 5 individual televisions is what he thought.
But it's a percentage of the overall stock. And
Yeah.
like Akiyama lets him know, like, by the way, the 10% of Panasonic shares that you just asked for is valued at like 200 billion yen.
Mm-hmm. Which he would have to
puts
pay
up like,
if he lost.
Yeah, because he didn't have anything to bet, so he just said he would give up a amount of money equal to what the other guy bet.
And then fucking Oma cheats him out of all that money.
Right? I mean, the show couldn't last very long if he could just pay off all of his debts. I think it would be pretty cool to see Yamashita just not like panic because he's got a boatload of money. I feel like he'd be a totally different character.
True, but a big point of the show is him believing in Oma.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you very much. How do you feel about the...
It's Gojo's voice actor. Why wouldn't you believe in him?
Yeah, very true. How do you feel about the Kure, like one of the granddaughters wanting to marry Oma and have his kids?
That was so out of nowhere and weird. And
it was. I wasn't expecting it at all whenever I was watching it.
Oma's like, what the fuck?
Well, and especially like later on when she like whenever he wins against Ryan at the very end,
and all of her family's like, oh, I guess he could marry her now.
Not just that, but she just like immediately rips all of her clothes off and then just starts running trying to find him.
That was fucking weird too.
Yeah, like I don't know why like they decided to completely sexualize a random part of the show like a little over what it should have been. Like yeah, they could have made a super attraction between them where she like you know wants to do it and all that, but
well they like sexualize the one owner too, but like A, she's an adult, and B, that's part of her tactics as an owner.
Oh yeah. Well, I still love whenever she starts hitting on the woman because she accuses her of like going
that doesn't work
go hit on other men.
Oh, doesn't it?
Right. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, yeah, I'm not opposed to it either. And then she's like, get away from me. You're disgusting.
Mm-hmm. But the Karura, however you say her name, she's like a teenager, so no thanks.
Yeah, she's 16. Like, don't get me wrong, in certain parts of Japan that's acceptable, but in the rest of the world that's not like it's not on the up and up.
Right.
So I do love the fact that her grandpa like absolutely hates Oma, but he's not the one who did any of this at all.
He didn't ask for it at all.
Nope.
He doesn't even know who she is.
Nope. I also absolutely love whenever he like picks her up and puts her down because she's like, you know, got her legs like wrapped around him whenever they're like fighting the first time they meet.
Mm-hmm.
And he just like picks her up, puts her down, and then just starts full sprinting in the other direction. So it's like later.
Yep. You ain't calling me no pedo.
Right. Well, and I do, just to go back on this a little bit, like the company names. I love all the company names.
They're like so close to the real ones.
Yeah, Panasonic, Bandai,
there's Gondai,
Nintendo.
Yeah, Gondai for
yeah,
Bandai.
Gondai.
Yeah, Nintendo.
Yeah, there's a bunch of
screw that company. Okay, I'm not talking Nintendo. Nintendo. Screw that company. They screwed their fighter over.
Well, yeah, they fucking corrupted him is what they did.
Mm-hmm.
The CEO of Nintendo ended up going to the Himalayas and found the strongest fighter in all of the Himalayas and ended up like adopting him and more or less I would say kidnapped him because this is not what the initial intention was.
Pretty much.
Changes his name from Haru to Haruo and then keeps feeding him video games, candy, and every luxury possible to brainwash him so that he will fight for Nintendo as their combatant. And then basically just turns him into like a big fat lazy dude.
Yeah, like I think if they didn't do that to him and let him just be him, he would be so much stronger.
Oh yeah. Well, and you have to figure like at the end of his fight, because that's the fight with what you were talking about with the headpiece. Because that was Akuya and
I don't think
Oh,
he
God,
needed.
what-
It was the cop guy. I
Yeah.
don't think he needed the headpiece to win that fight. I don't think he needed.
So
the
it was Hiyama and Akuya.
Mm-hmm.
And Hiyama actually has a really cool ability where her internal clock is like perfect.
Yeah.
So that's how one, she was able to use her ability on the like, roulette thing where the person with the highest number chooses position on the bracket board.
Right.
And then she analyzes everybody's breathing patterns so that she can tell Akuya when to, hit somebody or respond to something, because in between those breaths is when you're the most vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And Akuya has like lightning fast reflexes, which, who I would really like to see Akuya fight is Rei.
Yeah.
Rei Mikazuchi, the lightning assassin dude.
Yeah. That'd be a good one.
That would be a really awesome fight. But let's be realistic, though. Akuya's a fucking madman.
Yeah. It's like future Batman, where he went too far.
Oh, dude, yeah, and he's there. Oh my god. Like the scene where they show all the Yakuza dudes and like they're hung upside down and their heads have been cut off and like flipped upside down so that their arms are like holding them. Like that whole part there, I'm like, bro, this guy is a loose cannon cop on the edge who doesn't play by the rules.
Yeah.
Well, I like how at the one point he like saves the one guy and he's like, all right, so now I'm going to kill you unless you kill me. He's like, you have to kill me or I'll kill you because I know you've broken these laws. And like he just hesitates too long and Akuya ends up killing him. But that fight is pretty brutal because Haruo ends up like his body starts rejecting all the poisons that have been fed into him. And he like reverts back to that like Himalayan spirit.
Mm-hmm.
His speed doubles.
Right, but he still gets his ass kicked and he's broken afterwards. I felt bad for the dude. But then he meets his new hero, which is my hero.
Right, and he becomes Sekibayashi's apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
Which that fight also is, I think, one of my favorite fights in the tournament.
The sumo versus Sekibayashi.
Yeah, sumo versus wrestling.
It was probably my second favorite behind the finale fight.
Yeah, 100%.
Though I think Sekibayashi would have destroyed him if he actually, didn't take all the damage.
Right. I do like what they did, though, where it's like they were talking that, he ends up using his legs, the sumo guy does.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh my god, a sumo guy kicking? And it's like, well, yeah, like sumos kick the ground. It's like in Baki, they talk about that of like boxers like kick the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and plus you have to figure with all of his weight, his legs are actually like super strong. They're used to like holding a lot of weight.
Strongest part of his body.
Right. So that whole fight was insane, and I'm so glad that it ended the way that it did, because you even see the sumo dude in the stands, like, not wanting to root for Sekibayashi, but rooting for Sekibayashi.
Yeah, his own brothers wanted him to lose.
Right. Yeah, the CEO of Sekibayashi's company got told that they wanted him to lose so that it could, like, humble him a little bit, because he's, like, an undefeated sumo champion.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of needs to be like knocked down a little bit of a peg to make him
like,
hungry again.
He was like losing his roots in sumo or something. Yeah.
So his family kind of wanted that to be adjusted a little bit. So I still think that was a really good fight overall. And that's where you see You see a lot more of Seki Bayashi's beliefs come out in that episode where he talks about his mentor and he talks about how he got into wrestling and what being a pro wrestler really means. Right. Even though I feel like, again, because he doesn't block any attacks, I feel like he really could have lost. I honestly think.
Absolutely.
Because he was getting worked over in that fight for a little bit there.
Mm-hmm. I think it was really close, like way closer than they portrayed it at the very end.
Yeah.
But again, if he actually dodged or blocked or anything like that, it wouldn't have been close.
Yeah. Oh, just because I want to touch on it a little bit. How do you feel about the friendship that's developed between Kazuo Yamashita and the CEO of the
book company,
the bookstore? Yeah.
I love it. They just get drunk and they're pals.
Yeah, because like in the very beginning of the show, the dude's like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna lose against Lahito, or he's gonna lose against Sekibayashi," and he's like, "No, he's gonna pull through." It's like, really? You think so? He's like, "I don't see it," and then like he ends up winning, and they're like best friends ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Ken, that's his name.
Yeah,
Ken.
Yep.
I love every time that he's drunk because it's almost every time you see him. I think there's only twice you see him where he's not drunk.
Right.
Which you find out he is a very savvy business dude because he realizes that because his fighter ends up losing, which we'll talk about in a minute. His fighter ends up losing. And
that was that fight I mentioned earlier.
Right. And even though his fighter lost, he doesn't necessarily care because the amount of business deals that he made while he was on the island were enough to pay for the entry fee and get him like a bunch of, money coming in. Mm-hmm. So for him, it was a huge way to network, even though he wasn't going to win. And he was technically, I think, one of the subsidiary companies of like Toyo Electric Power.
They threatened him, I think.
I think they did, but they never really confirmed it.
Because he seemed like scared and didn't really want to do it.
Right. But yeah, I do. I don't know why. Just whenever they're on the Kengan liner, the like awesome freaking cruise ship that they're on, and Ken's drunk and he's looking for Yamashita. Goes, Kazu. Tries to get him to come beat the dude at shogi because he's tried to beat him like 10 times and can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like that guy though.
I don't like him either. There's a lot that came out during like all of his fights because he beat Ken's competitor, which you find out like he's got like that predictive ability where instead of like how Hiyama can like count like the internal clock and count your breath, like he just starts to analyze like your fight patterns and like he'll start to memorize those and know when to respond and to react. Mm-hmm. But he does it in a way that he can't maintain. And the fact that because he is so weak physically, he has to take, medication, pain pills, pain blockers. The one dude said that his bag looked like a pharmacy.
Right. Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah.
I was like, why are you doing this then, dude? Why? Not that I don't think the actual fighter, I think he beat the actual fighter mostly because he was cocky, which he got humbled and became a better character. But
yeah, I agree.
That dude would have got his ass beat in the actual fight though.
Oh yeah, against Kowlon?
Yeah, Kowlon's a beast.
Yeah, which Kaneda, that's the dude who's really good at shogi who ends up beating Ken's competitor. I don't know what he really wanted to prove more than anything. I mean, the only thing I could figure is that he just kept saying that he belonged in this group of fighters.
Right.
But, like, I don't know. Like, I think he had to know that he didn't really actually stand a chance of winning. I feel like he had to know that.
He had to have, for sure. I just don't get his motivation.
I don't either. He's one of the characters that I don't really understand. He's not a bad character per se.
No,
but like he's not. I don't know. He just seems very out of the norm with everybody. That, and I mean, I'll say the same thing about the Doctor, though.
The Doctor is dope, though.
Yeah.
Hanafusa.
Yeah, I don't know, the fight between the Doctor and then the death row inmate.
Mm-hmm.
Bondo. That fight was weird to me, and I think this one kind of made me the least disappointed, I'll say. And I think a lot of it's just because of how unrealistic this fight in particular is.
Yeah, it's definitely seemingly the most unrealistic.
Like, don't get me wrong, like, you know, and I won't say for anybody who hasn't seen it yet what happens when, or why it's happening that Oma, whenever he takes a loan, you know, why he gets more powerful, because like that I'll let somebody figure out on their own, because it's cool, and you were able to guess it pretty quickly.
Well, it's because I watched One Piece and Luffy does the same thing.
Right, which pretty much gives it away for anyone who's seen enough of One Piece. Mm-hmm. But when you break it down, though, like, you know, the Doctor ended up taking out his bones himself and then turned them into blades and then put them inside of his body. So now he has two, like, what would you say those? Technically short swords, probably?
Yeah.
Like, that are like Wolverine retractable blades that come out of his, like, wrists.
It seems so long to be.
Well, I know. Whenever you look at pictures of it. Right. That's what I'm saying. It looks like he wouldn't be able to bend his arm. It looks like it would take up the whole arm.
Right.
So I don't know. This fight is that, and like the fact that the death row inmate dude is like, what did they say? Like double jointed or like triple jointed?
Yeah, like,
and he just like
he moves his shit around and stuff.
Yeah, like he can move his organs around and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, this one is the most like
not
out
necessarily that he can move him around, more that he can change his angle so that the angle of attack goes a different way. It's weird, but whatever. And yeah, like his neck's double jointed or something. That's why he survived hangings.
Yeah, because he's like survived like 15 execution attempts or something like that.
And yeah, and that's why they entered him in the tournament, so that the Doctor could kill him, or somebody could kill him. But
right,
the
which
the
I will
Doctor's
say
the government fighter, so yeah,
yeah. Which I'll even say, like, it's kind of nice, like the way that fight ends out, and the fact that Bondo ends up dying. And then the Doctor is like, he lost, but he's like out, but he's technically won in the long run.
Right. But he also now, like died, but didn't die.
Yeah, that one dude comes over and like fucking like snaps his neck real quick, and like he just like comes back to life. Because he put in like an implant into his body so that he would come back. So I don't know. That one fight in particular is kind of like the one that I'm like, how did you, all right, we really have to talk about this guy. Setsuna Kiryu. Like, we have to go over him. I mean, so we mentioned in the very beginning that Oma, our co-main character, is out to redeem his teacher, because his teacher got killed by Setsuna's teacher, which you then find out that Setsuna killed his own teacher. So now it's kind of like the fight between Oma and Setsuna.
Right.
And I mean, whenever you look at like abilities that you see Setsuna actually use in his first fight, because like all you see for the first little bit is like just the aftermath. So like they show whenever he went to that, like, what would you call it, audition for his CEOs.
Oh yeah.
Like they just go in and like everybody's dead. And then whenever they end up finishing the boat fight and they end up getting onto the Kengan liner, one of the fighters ends up, talking shit and like starting to accuse Katahara of, doing stupid shit and like making them fight for no reason, and he felt like an embarrassment. And the one security guard like punched him in the face so hard that he like went, or kicked him so hard that he went flying off the boat.
Mm-hmm.
But like blood splattered on Oma's face. So then you see Setsuna like fucking killed that dude too because he tainted Oma's face with the blood.
Yeah. Fucking weirdo.
Yeah, like he wants to be with Oma. Like they definitely make it very apparent.
Well, I think he more wants Oma to kill him.
Yeah.
His wrathful god.
Right.
That's what he sees Oma as when he takes the loan.
Yeah. And then, I mean, you see his first like fight in the arena with because during this whole tournament process, there has been many points where it's open for people to make sneaky moves. And there was a point where they could even like basically replace their fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like, if your fighter got like knocked out or you made a deal where if it would be a non-competitor versus an actual competitor.
Mm-hmm.
So you could, get new ones if your fighter's lost. Well, all those people are going around beating people's competitors up and then becoming it by force. And Setsuna ends up fighting one of those guys.
Right. That was so interesting, but like all the normal participant fighters that won their fights against the non-participants, those guys are all badasses.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like Wakatsuki and Ray and
Cosmo,
yep.
Well, and you could say that Sawada tried to, but Sawada got
It's a he, but it's a very feminine he. But he says he is a he in the show, but it's definitely they're very feminine.
Yeah,
they're a ballet artist, so it kind of makes sense. But that's not what happened there. What happened there was his fight. He had to take his owner was being held hostage by those other two fighters that I think work for Toyo Electric, and so she had forfeited on behalf of Sawada. And then Sawada got pissed and tried to fight the guy that he was gonna fight and got his ass beat.
Yep. Broke his like ankle in like a million pieces.
Yeah, by kicking the guy.
Well, he grabbed the foot and just like snapped it.
Oh, that's true, yeah. That dude, I don't like that guy. I didn't like any of those three.
Me either. Well, one of them had to fight Moteba, the blind mercenary who apparently just like fucks all day long.
That threw me off.
That was another weird point where it's like, oh, by the way, like every time they show this guy, like he's always surrounded by like a ton of naked women.
Well, yeah, he
was
walking into his fight and there was like 4 naked chicks just laying on the ground. And I don't know if he just when I first saw it, I was like, did he rape them? No. R-word them?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That was kind of like more of a cringe fight in my opinion, honestly. And I figure I know why for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know why.
Yeah, I 100% know why. I should have warned you about that, but you were already through it, so I didn't really have to. That fight is of the fights, that is the most gruesome fight I think so far that we've covered.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, like super gruesome.
So
although the guy that he was fighting against, I liked even less, so I was happy that he won.
It's facts. Yeah, the dude like cries tears of blood, and he's just a freaking murder. Like he's one of those people that takes pain and actually like it turns into pleasure in their brain. So like he loves having it happen. It's fucking wild. It's creepy. That whole fight's just I don't know.
Yeah.
And then. Like, I'll say Leihito's fight in the tournament was also very lackluster, really boring.
It was, but then it was going to be so hype, and then, no.
Yeah.
Because Leihito, like, figured something out, but then it was still not enough.
No, it was nowhere close to enough.
But also, he had just gotten his ass kicked by Ryan.
Yeah.
So maybe he would have stood better chance if he wasn't fucked up.
maybe, but I can't. I don't know. I think Lehito is he's at his peak and he just doesn't realize he's just not that strong.
Right.
I'll say it. We have to talk about the Agito and Okubo fight, the Fang and Metsudo versus Okubo.
That fight was really good.
I think that honestly is like one of my favorite fights of the whole tournament.
It's probably my third favorite, but it's probably the best. Like technical fighting, it's probably the best.
Yeah. They break fighting down a lot more in that one where, like they have the ground game and then they've got their stand-up game and like their zoning stuff that they're doing. And then, I don't know, like I have to ask, do you feel like Agito's doing the same thing that Oma's doing whenever he turns into that like crazy form?
Oh, maybe. I don't know though.
Like they haven't covered it at all, but like it's the only time you see somebody do that is when like Oma does it,
Ryan.
But that's different. That's like a genetic family trait.
Is it though, or is it just his genetics allow him to do it? Like I feel it's the same thing though.
Maybe it's hard to say, but like Ryan's is due to like a huge family heritage that's been spanning generations.
Maybe Ryan, the way the Kudes do it, has no downside. Because it's genetic.
I mean, it doesn't seem like it has any kind of downside.
Right, he kind of just spams it.
Yeah, pretty much. Which for a while there, he didn't even want to use it in his fight with Oma.
Well, it's because he didn't think Oma was worthy.
Right. Which freaking the Fang and Metsudo beats the shit out of Okubo at one point, even though like he put up a good fight. Okubo really did. But the fight with the Fang is just insane, where eventually he's just pummeling Okubo into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And then he wakes up in the hospital.
And then just walks out.
Yeah. But I think some of the other storyline stuff is pretty nuts too, where you find out about Yamashita's son.
Yeah. That's probably my least favorite storyline.
Yeah, but just the way that it, like the whole thing unfolds itself, where like the Kure family were actually contracted by them, but they feel backstabbed by him, so they're gonna they tell Yamashita, "Hey, we're gonna kill your son unless you win this next fight." Yeah. Like that's pretty wild, because that was like a big thing whenever Oma ends up winning that fight and Yamashita goes up and
confronts him,
plays confronts him by himself. Like, bro, the balls on him.
That's right.
Like, he admits that he was like trembling in his boots, but he did it.
I will say that storyline, the only good thing is Yamashita's evolution from being so worried about his son that he's trying to calm to then realizing, no, why don't I just have faith in my dude Oma?
Yeah, very much.
And then like rooting him on, and that being part of why Oma realizes what he needs to do. And
yeah. And I will say, like, so there's the way that we broke this down is we watched the first 24 episodes. We did part 1 and part 2, and then there's season 2, which season 2 is 28 episodes. I will tell you right now, and going into it, it drives me crazy because either, in my opinion, some voice actors either changed and I haven't been able to find exactly which people changed on the American side, or the people forgot how to do the voices, because there are like half the characters don't have the same voices in season 2.
That's always disappointing.
It made me very upset. Like, you remember President Hoshitake, the guy who was Lehito's first?
Yeah.
That dude's voice is completely different in season 2.
Damn.
Like, nowhere even close to the same. Wakatsuki's voice is different. Jun's sounds slightly different. Yamashita sounds slightly different.
I don't think Yamashita's is different. I think it's because of who it is and the different characters he ends up having the voice. Because it's
right. It's
also
that's why I said
it's also what's his name from Dorohedoro, the why can I never remember his name?
He's Mr. N.
Yeah, Mr. N. That's it. And then he's also Hisoka,
Right.
which is so different.
Yeah, they're all so different. So I mean, bouncing back and forth between a lot of these projects in rapid succession, that's where I'm like, they either forgot to do either forgot to do the voice exactly, or
It could be age and stuff because of the time in between.
It could be. Now, we didn't really cover it in the beginning like we normally do, but what was this for you, John? Was this a rewatch, regret, or recommend?
So definitely recommend to anybody who likes fighting. Don't regret. I don't think I regret it. I don't like the animation, but I don't regret it. I think I have to rewatch it though.
Why would you say that?
Because I feel there's just so many different little storylines going on, and I feel like I only truly paid attention to the fights. You know what I mean?
I could see that.
But now that
especially if your brain kind of checked out in between them.
Right. And now that I know how the fights go, I can pay attention to the storylines and actually get fulfilled by them. And if I'm going to continue, which I'm going to continue, especially after that finale, it was dope.
Yes.
I'm going to need to know these storylines.
Yeah, for sure. You'll definitely want to know a few of them.
I think that's the biggest difference between this and Baki, is Baki's basically all just fighting, and there's almost no storyline, whereas this is all storyline, but the fights are so cool that you just kind of forget about the storyline.
That's fair. And I will look at the fact that with this show, for me, it's absolutely a rewatch just because I've rewatched it so many times already. Like, I can't say anything else. I would definitely recommend it. The music in the show, I think, is fantastic. The outro, I know, shocked you with how much of a banger that was.
Oh, it's such a banger. The intro is good too, but that outro is a banger.
Yeah, if anybody out there is really into like music for animes, dude, the outro to the show is a banger. It's so good. So I'll be excited for you to check out some of the stuff that happens in season 2. I've already watched the majority of it. I haven't watched all of it.
Gotcha.
So I think it's good. I think there are just sometimes in particular where some of the voice changes just bother me. And I will say that fight-wise, like, I don't know. There's something that happens in the fights where it almost seems like they changed up the structure of how they did the episodes. Once you watch it, you'll kind of understand, I think, more of what I mean.
Gotcha.
But I'll be excited to kind of get your opinion on season 2. Is there anything that you really wish that they would have like changed or not done in this show so far?
Well, besides the Kure girl, not really.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, overall, I feel like this is a pretty well-rounded show. There's story, there's some heartfelt stuff in there. There's obviously, that blood gore fight.
I do think the pacing was not great. Like, it's fast. It's really fast. They're like, oh, here's a fight, and then here's a little story. Here's a fight, here's a little story. Here's a fight. Like, and you're also like right into the tournament right away.
Yeah.
There's no there's no real explanation about like you said, what is your motivation to become the Kengan president? Like, why do all these people want this so badly?
Right.
Like, you understand that, like, the fights and all, you understand why they take place and all this stuff, but like the motivations to become the president, like, aren't you already fucking multi-billionaire? Some of these companies, I think one of the companies, they said $1 trillion.
That was Metsudo's company.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess maybe that's why.
I mean, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's probably my biggest gripe with it, honestly.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I kind of want to get a couple of the storylines ironed out a little bit more than they are. I kind of want there's a couple characters like Wakatsuki and Cosmo I would like to see do a little bit more, because they're kind of like, in season 1, they kind of like allude to them being kind of important, but like they really haven't done much.
Well, especially Wakatsuki. I couldn't even remember his name, even though he has like a 40% screen time.
Right, he's on a lot. Like you see him breaking things down a lot, and you'll see him more in season 2. I will tell you that.
Cool.
But I'm also very divided in how I feel about what he does on screen now. It's kind of hard to explain without telling you exactly. So once we get into watching it, I'll get your opinion on it. But there's just some things in season 2 where I'm like, man, I really wish that they would have done this differently.
Gotcha.
So I'm not going to say it's terrible, but it's definitely, so far it's shaping up like season 1's going to be way better than season 2.
Another thing I wish is I could just straight up see the bracket better, so I like knew what fights I would want to see out of the bracket.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where did Wakatsuki put himself on the other side of the bracket to be in the finals against the Fang? Because the Fang is his goal. He wants to fight the Fang. So wouldn't you put yourself up against him earlier, or do you? I don't know. You know?
Yeah, that part I don't know.
Like, if you're trying to win the tournament, you would put yourself as far away from the Fang as possible. But that's not his goal. His goal isn't to win the tournament. His goal is to beat the Fang.
Right. He wants to show him that he too has fangs.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that. I wish that the board was a little bit more visible. I wish that it was something that was shown a little bit more often.
And I want to see how far I think Kowlon's going to make it.
Dude,
I think my two favorite fighters, as in just fighters, is Kowlon and Sekibayashi. Kowlon for his fighting and Sekibayashi for his personality while fighting.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I can definitely agree with that. I'm quite a big fan of Kowlon. I like him a lot as a fighter.
I like his rival too.
I
can't remember his name right now, but
I can't remember what his name is. But that dude's crazy.
Well, the only person he's ever lost to was Kowlon. I'm pretty sure.
He's a Muay Thai fighter. Mm-hmm. Well, because in the fight with the fisherman dude, like the guy like breaks his hand trying to punch him in the head because his skull is so like dense from it like having been cracked and attacked so many times.
Yep.
So yeah, that's pretty crazy. But no, definitely a recommend on this one. Is there anything else you felt like needed to go over? Anything we missed?
Right now, I don't think so.
No, I mean we got through all the fighters. We got through all the fights.
I guess we didn't technically talk about why Oma ended up winning his final fight or his fight at the end of the finale. Yeah,
and that is pretty important.
Right, and that he made his fighting style his own finally.
Well, he reluctantly, I should say, has been using Nico's style because he knows that Nico has taught him abilities that are useful to him, even though he doesn't want to admit it because he hates admitting that his teacher was right. And in his mind, if his teacher was so strong, then he shouldn't have died in the fight that he died in. So he definitely harbors a lot of regret in that. I feel like he wishes that he was stronger at the time so he could have saved Nico.
Right. But he also hates Nico because he thinks, why should I have been stronger? You should have been stronger.
Right.
Your style should have been
better. He doesn't fully believe in Nico's style because if Nico's style was the best, then he wouldn't have died. Mm-hmm. So, but in the fight with Ryan, he ends up like getting his ass kicked, and then he has a visualization where he's talking to Nico, and then Nico basically breaks it down and telling him like, hey, look, like you need to make this your own. Like the Nico style has been passed down from pupil to pupil, and it's been ever evolving ever since, and it's now your time to take the Nico style and turn it into what you will make it. Because he found out that taking a loan and doing that whole ability is not helping against Ryan, but he's running out of options. And then he's on the verge of losing, and then he has that whole visual with Nico, and he has a pretty emotional victory.
Mm-hmm. Very much so, especially for Setsuna.
Right? Yeah, that's Setsuna's not happy.
No. Not at all.
But no, the final fight in the season is great. Every fight I think is pretty good for the most part. There's a couple that are a little bit more. There wasn't
many bad ones. There's a lot of mid ones. There's a few really good ones and then a few really bad ones. But overall, it was good.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So yeah, I appreciate you watching that with me, and I'm glad that you share a lot of feelings that I do about it. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty excited for the next one that we're going to get into. It's by the creator of my favorite anime, and it's one of your favorites.
Yeah, it's definitely top 5 for me.
I could definitely see why, and I've only watched the first season so far.
Which is the worst part.
Right, which that seems to be just a trend with his stuff. Mm-hmm. So on our next episode, if you would like to join us, we're going to be talking about Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter is going to be very exciting. It is something that I've been meaning to start for a long time and never got around to. And then, we decided to get it done. So I'm very happy to go over it. I'm super excited about it. Be sure to start checking out our socials, all those things on the interwebs, see what we got going on. We might be posting some new things for you guys to check out here very, very soon. So give us a look on there. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell us how much you hate us in the comments. Thank you very much. We are the Binge Watch Brigade. See you on that next one.
Love you. Bye.